Hello and welcome to Mimi's Sketchbook. Today my illustration was inspired by Paul David Tripp's book New Morning Mercies, and it is August 10th. And this is a beautiful garden full of mostly coneflowers and just a few little black-eyed Susans thrown in for contrast. This beautiful garden belongs to a friend of mine, and I just had to take pictures of it because it was absolutely alive with butterflies and bees and dragonflies, and it just was humming, not only with beauty, but with the sound of these insects flying all over the place. It was a beautiful treat. The color was just over the top and a real sight to behold. The botanical name for coneflower is Echinacea. It is a native plant that has been hybridized over the years to control its height, the shape of its bloom, its size, and of course the color. It now comes in every color, I think, but maybe blue. And this is a native species called the purple coneflower. And it's lovely just the way it is, but this is a hybrid, and this is called sombrero. And you can understand why they are so popular with gardeners, with this very intense color. And there are some cons to all the hybriding, and one is that native species reseed themselves, and they just freely drop their seeds and grow in new places, whereas the hybrids are called sterile, and they don't reseed themselves. The seeds are also a source of food for birds, and gardeners will purposely not cut these plants back when the flowers are done blooming, so there's a source of food for the birds in the wintertime. These are examples of double bloom coneflowers. And although they are advertised to attract pollinators and butterflies to the garden, unfortunately, they're useless to them because the extra petals block the pollinators from being able to reach the nectar and the pollen. So although some of these hybrids might be exotic and pretty, it might be a better idea to just leave them at the garden center rather than put them in your garden, if you want to have a beneficial garden. Today in his devotions, Paul Tripp talks about God's wisdom, and that God knows absolutely everything. It almost seems like foolishness to try to comprehend a limitless God with limited human understanding. But we might gain a little understanding with the story of the coneflower. Not only is the native coneflower beautiful, but it provides food for the birds and pollen and nectar for the pollinators. Whereas the great big colorful double bloom coneflowers that hybridizers have been working on for years and years provide absolutely no benefit to the very insects and birds that it attracts to itself. So here's the good news. Paul Tripp says, run from any thought that you are smarter than God. Consume his wisdom and be thankful for the grace that rescues you from your own foolishness and connects you to the one who defines what is wise. So thank you for joining me today at Mimi's Sketchbook. I hope this was an encouragement to you. I know this learning about the coneflower taught me a good lesson. So if this was an encouragement to you, could you please subscribe and maybe give it a thumbs up? And in doing that, YouTube will help us spread the good news. So thank you and God bless.